I want to talk to you about more serious matters, though, for the next few minutes on BBC Essex Breakfast. And this is long COVID. So if you've had COVID recently, or perhaps right at the start of the pandemic in 2020, what was it like and how long did it take you to recover from that? I'm really keen to hear your experiences of the virus and how you've coped and how you've recovered and how long that recovery has taken, because one Essex couple has told BBC Essex long COVID is ruining their lives. This is Antony, Loveless and Claire Hooper, who say they're so incapacitated they're potentially facing a lifetime on benefits. Now, both were working full time before they came down with COVID-19. Let me give you some figures around this. BBC Essex has exclusively learned that 2,180 people have been treated in long COVID clinics since they opened up here in our county. Experts say the number of people affected is actually expected to be a lot higher because many people are trying to cope themselves and suffering in silence. The Office for National Statistics says there are about 1.3 million people in the UK suffering from long COVID. So as I'm speaking to you this morning, is that you? Is that something that you've experienced and you're still going through now? What's helping and how are you feeling with it all? You can send us a message or get in touch on the phone. So I'm going to talk now to Antony and Claire, who've been suffering with long COVID for over a year and have been going to these clinics in Chelmsford. Morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm really sorry to hear what you're going through. Tell Essex what happened then. When did you come down with the virus and when did you notice it was taking a long time to get over it?
Well, I started feeling unwell in late December 2020 and believe I caught the virus while I was at work. I was working at the time as lead investigator and health and safety manager at London Gateway Port. And I felt really unwell. I went in on Monday, the 4th of January, left after 2 hours. I had a temperature of around 40 degrees and just felt really washed out. Claire and I both tested positive on the 4th of January. And then for the next 2 weeks, pretty much we spent the whole period in bed, and there were a number of nights that we said goodnight to each other and weren't sure we were going to wake up in the morning.
Because we didn't have the main symptoms at first, the main 3 symptoms, we hadn't got tested before then, but as soon as Ant got a temperature and I was working at the time, I'm a nurse and health visitor, so I had tests here, so we did those. We went and did those on that Monday, but I didn't have any symptoms until the Thursday of that week, which was the day we got our results, so 3 or 4 days. So, but we were isolating at home. I was still working until I think the Thursday, but then very, very quickly both of us got very unwell. And then after a couple of months, we both started to feel a bit better and went back to work. I wasn't quite there yet. I was still very unwell, lots and lots of symptoms. And our daughter moved home from university. She was having a baby, so she'd come home for us to look after her, which was so sweet. But it didn't kind of end up that way because we think that the exertion of helping her to move back just exacerbated both our symptoms to the point where, well, I was bedbound for months after that. From May, sorry,
it was March,
so that was in March, and then I just went downhill until probably April, May, and I was just in bed all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 22, 23 hours a day was a good day. Back then I could barely crawl to the bathroom. And so, yeah, we did have it pretty badly. But of course, on top of that, because we were so debilitated at that time, actually seeking help or asking for help or ringing the GP surgery there were so many hurdles for us to jump over to even, you know, get the phone charged, get the, you know, get through to the GP, get an appointment, be well enough to attend an appointment, even if it was just on the phone, which most of them were.
What did they tell you when you sort of called to say, I'm really struggling here and this isn't right? As you say, going on for months. What were you told?
Yeah, so they referred us to the long COVID clinic, who I know there's been a lot of bad press about them, but I have to say, from my point of view, they were so reassuring and so helpful and supportive to me and to you as well. Yeah. I think with Sarah, haven't you? And my GP referred us to other services. They did ECGs and blood tests to rule out other things. We had a lot of cardiac symptoms, lots of neurological symptoms, lots of gastric problems, and also falling over. We've just
collapses, trips, falls, body pain.
Yeah, so they think that long COVID affects your autonomic systems. So
I was referred to an infectious diseases consultant by the long COVID clinic in around May, I think, and he diagnosed me with POTS, which is post-orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and an autonomic disorder. So I can't regulate my temperature, blood pressure, or heart rate. They've all gone haywire.
And that is because of COVID, is it?
Yeah. I mean, prior to long COVID, we were both very, very independent, driven, dynamic people. You know, we both had full lives, busy careers. I was in the peak of physical fitness. I've never had any underlying health conditions. I was fit enough that in 2018, I became an altruistic kidney donor. And a month after I donated my kidney to a stranger, I did a skydive. So, you know, I was fit, Claire was fit, we were both very healthy, but this has ravaged our immune systems. It's left me immunocompromised. Claire,
I can't leave the house on my own because when I get tired, it's one of our long COVID friends, another Claire, describes it as the lead curtain falling, but it is. So I get tired and my brain goes, and I can't think, I can't speak, I can't sit up or walk or do anything. I just have to lie down with my eyes shut until my body recovers from it. But it's very frightening when it happens. So I haven't left the house on my own for nearly a year.
Yeah. What does that do to you then? What does that do to you mentally? Because as you said, this isn't new. Yeah, how do you cope
with thinking of myself? You know, I'm the carer, I'm the nurse, I'm the mum, and now I'm struggling now actually with this interview. But a 10-minute phone call can wipe me out for the rest of the day, and I've got a 12-year-old daughter here who lives with us, and I barely see her. We ate dinner yesterday together, but it's pretty rare because it makes me too ill just sitting up. It can have me laid up for days afterwards.
It's a lapsing remitting condition. So what doesn't help also is it's an invisible disability. So we feel invisible if we go out, and
I only wish I was invisible when I go out, because I have to have this horrible, ugly walking frame with wheels.
If I go out,
it's not very attractive.
It's, you know, we don't recognise ourselves, and it takes a massive toll on your mental health. You know,
just coming to terms with the whole, you know, and feeling, you know, my sense of self-worth was in my job, in my career, with my patients who I hope I helped, and with my children who I love and want to support and help them. And now I'm unable to do any of those things because of my disabilities, you know, walking to the front door to get an Amazon parcel is pretty tricky some days.
One of the biggest frustrations we faced has been navigating the benefits system, which is so complex. It's like walking through a minefield. It's so complex that even specialist groups like the Citizens Advice Bureau, Dial South Essex, who have been really, really helpful to us, even they're not sure exactly who is entitled to what. And there is no way, we applied for universal credit, and that was done pretty quickly. But for most of last year, I lost my job in May. Claire went down to half pay and is on the verge of losing her job now. We had no income other than a few £100s a month of universal credit. We both applied for PIP, but that took 7 months to process. And we didn't realise that when you get PIP granted, there are lots of other benefits you become entitled to, but it's really complicated trying to find out about them.
It's like, well, as you say, you've been sort of thrust into this situation in terms of your physical health, what you can and can't do, your mental health, your confidence, and then having to navigate your way through the system as well, and trying to deal with all of the actual stuff to stay afloat financially and to cope.
Well,
I found it really interesting to hear your stories. I'm going to leave it there just because I've got to do the travel, but it's been really, really good to talk to both of you, and I hope there's better times on the horizon in the not too distant future. Thank you,
Sonia,
for coming on. And if you've been listening and you've been going through similar and you want to share your experiences, 0800 111 40 41. That is Antony Loveless and partner Claire Hooper telling us about their experiences with long COVID. We'll continue this conversation next. Let's get you that travel at 18 minutes past 8. It's breakfast on BBC Essex, and Barry Lewis has the latest travel.